So how the chemical vapor deposition method works, and we have discussed the principle, and then we'll see that how the rate of the chemical vapor deposition we have seen also how to calculate this thing, and on which factor the rate of the chemical vapor deposition when affected is like temperature, pressure, and the velocity depends on the temperature to the power 3 by 2, and it's inversely proportional to the pressure, inversely proportional to the velocity, and the distance, the direction of gas of flow. These are the factors on which the rate of the chemical vapor deposition is going to be affected. So this is the things about the atmospheric chemical vapor deposition. Now we will be see about low pressure chemical vapor deposition. So basically, low pressure chemical vapor deposition is just a chemical deposition that's operated in vacuum at a pressure around 1 torr. That is 1 torr means what? 1 mm of Hg. Pressure measured in torr, and this 1 torr is to say that it's 1 mm of Hg. Here you can see this is the reactor for the this is for the plasma. So this is the in this method, that is low pressure chemical vapor deposition method, we are able to calculate the rate using this formula. So basically there are few possibility to exist or enhance the rate of the CVD. So why we go to the low pressure CVD from atmospheric to maybe to increase the region is to increase the rate of the deposition. So as so what is how can we going to increase the deposition rate? To raise the process temperature. If we raise the temperature, then what will happen? It would normally increase the diffusivity, so it will harm the substrate. Or to what is the next method to increase the rate? If we decrease the velocity, may enhance the rate, and but also result in lower Reynolds number. It will increase the boundary layer thickness. So the method, so this leaves that the last option to decrease the pressure of the gas with expectation to enhance the rate. So this is the best to increase the rate, that is to reduce the pressure. So we gone to this method like low pressure chemical vapor deposition method. Thus the low pressure chemical vapor deposition method operates in a vacuum under a pressure of 1 torr, and it's very popular in microfabrication. And the next method is plasma enhanced method. So basically CVD process that we have learned is just requires a substrate and the carrier gas to be at elevated temperature. अभी तक हम लोग जो भी दोनों मेथड देखा CVD का, that is the atmospheric pressure and the low pressure, but they require a substrate and a carrier gas at a high temperature, that is at a elevated temperature for the sufficient activation energy for what to allow the chemical reaction. So here they have the high temperature that can damage substrate, but in plasma enhanced technology, it uses radio frequency plasma, RF. Radio frequency most of the time uses RF. So this uses RF plasma to transfer energy into the reactor gases, which allows substrate to remain at lower temperature. That as compared to lower temperature at what? Lower temperature as compared to the atmospheric CVD and the low pressure CVD. A radio frequency source can be electromagnetic radiation in the frequency band of 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz, or alternating current in the same frequency. So radio frequency is what? Radio frequency is an electromagnetic radiation or an alternating current in the same frequency. The precise temperature control of the substrate surface is necessary to ensure the quality of the film. We need to precisely control the substrate temperature to get a quality deposition of film over the substrate. So basically this is the reactor for this purpose, that is the plasma enhanced CVD. when we compare these different methods, like APCVD is what it is normally CVD. We call CVD as a APCVD, this atmospheric pressure CVD. And the next method is low pressure CVD and the plasma enhanced CVD. So these are the comparison of three methods. What is the temperature range, what is the pressure and temperature range, what is the normal deposition rate. So you are able to say the deposition rate varies with the methods, and what is the advantages, disadvantages, and application. So accordingly, the what we need, what is our requirement, precision, or our requirement is fast vapor deposition. So accordingly, we will choose what the methods, different methods. So the next method is physical vapor deposition. It is just name is a sputtering. A sputtering is a form of physical vapor deposition. So sputtering is a process that's often it is used to deposit thin films of how much in order of 100 angstrom on the substrate surface. It's that is metallic films or layers are required to conduct electricity from a signal generator in sensor. For example, here you are able to see the figure. Just we are depositing a metallic layer on the installation layer. Above the metallic layer is marked here, that is connected with the metal wire box. So just we are depositing a metallic layer to conduct the electricity to the piezo resistors. So the metallic films are required to conduct electricity from a signal generator in a sensor or for the supply of electricity to an actuator. So the sputtering process is required out with the plasma under very low pressure. So in this chapter, we will see that in this things like what is the sputtering. Sputtering is a very simple way. That is nothing is a physical vapor deposition method, and what is the need? Just need to deposit a metal films. So there is no chemical reaction involved in this process. So there is no attendance is going on. So if I will ask attend about attendance, then say that you are present. So how sputtering is going on? Like we will see that how we will deposit the metal films over a substrate using the sputtering method. So basically, here you are able to see that there are two target plates, that is electrodes. Behind the in front of electrode, there are two target plates, and we have a metal vapors. Metal vapor is created by what? Metal is created by plasma, or we have seen that they are the ions, metal ions. So if their metal ions are collected from the metal vapors, and then if the metal vapors or ion get hit on the target plates, the positive ions, so we can say that the positive ions of the metals in that inert gas, or we have the carrier gas that carries and that bombarded the surface of the target at high velocity. So the momentum transfer on the impingement causes the thermal ions to evaporate. First step is to what? First step it bombard the ions there in between the target plates. It bombard the surface of the target plate with high velocity, and this will create a momentum transfer. And because of this, the metal ions converted to metal vapor, and it's evaporated. And then the metal vapor is then laid to the deposited on the where on it deposited on the surface of the substrate after the condensation. So first process in this method, what we are seeing that there are argon gases containing the metal vapor, and the ions of the metal vapor bombarded the uh, target plates. After that, it will get converted into the metal vapor. So the metal vapor get deposited on the subsurface after the condensation. In this way, we are getting the film deposition of the metals on a surface. So here the inert gas is argon gas. So the next method of deposition is deposition by epitaxy. So epitaxy is extension of single crystal substrate by growing a film of the same single crystal layer. For example, to deposit silicon film over the desired part of silicon substrate means we are just creating the films of same material over the same material. Here the material is silicon, so we are depositing silicon film over the desired part of silicon substrate in order to build the thickness of the microstructure. So basically there are a number of methods of epitaxy. You can say that both CVD and that is chemical vapor deposition and physical vapor deposition process are used to deposit dissimilar materials on the silicon substrate, but epitaxy is used to deposit polysilicons or single crystal silicons films on a single substrate surface, silicon substrate. Most polysilicons are doped pure silicon crystal, that is randomly oriented. They are used to conduct electricity at desired location on silicon substrate. The process is similar to CVD with carrier gas with reactant that releases the same material as the substrate, and the gallium arsenide or the gallium arsenide substrate using this techniques. There are four techniques of epitaxy, and the most common method is used is vapor phase epitaxy process. So these are different types of reactors or reactant vapor is used in this method. In the chemical process, you can see that silane SiH4 we have discussed is that this is a silane. If it decomposes, or that the method is called pyrolysis, just giving the if you give the heat sufficient heat, then the silane is decomposed into solid silicon and it liberates hydrogen. How much heat we will supply to this for this method around 1000 degrees Celsius. So this is just a simple pyrolysis process to decompose the silane into silicon, single crystal silicon. So this is the reactor used for the deposition epitaxy method. So this is very similar to the CVD as reactor, expected except that there are carrier gases that are used in H2. So here we are using H2. So we need to take care of some blast. If we are not using the like H2 with caring, then there is some issues like blast or some accident will happen. So this is there are two types of reactor, either horizontal or either vertical. So these all process are related to the microfabrication process we have discussed so far. So these are only techniques, different types of microfabrication techniques. Okay. So what we have seen till now is the different types of or different techniques of microfabrication. So these techniques what we have seen is just a techniques. So it's not going to be used directly into the production or manufacture of names. We will have to see that how we are going to use these techniques to manufacturing a product. Which type of product like microsensor, accelerometer and actuators. तो यू कैन डू सम एक्टिविटी लाइक आप कुछ एक्स्ट्रा एक्टिविटी कर सकते हैं जिसमें हम लोग माइक्रो सेंसर या कुछ सेंसर डेवलप कर रहे हैं, कुछ एक्सीलरोमीटर जो डेवलप्ड है उसमें कुछ मॉडिफिकेशन कर रहे हैं, मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहे हैं, लाइक कुछ ऐसा भी एक्टिविटी सोच सकते हो. ठीक है, दिस सब्जेक्ट. So there are 3 micro fabrication techniques used in current industry. Like first one is bulk manufacturing, second one is we'll discuss about the surface micro machining, and the third one we'll discuss about the Liga process. Liga is nothing, just a German term. It's referred to the lithography, electroforming, and plastic molding. These are the three basic manufacturing techniques going to be used, and we'll learn this about what is the bulk manufacturing. Basically, bulk manufacturing is widely used to produce the micro sensor and accelerometer, and its first comes in 1960. So bulk manufacturing, or we can say that bulk micro machining, involves removal of materials from bulk substrates, usually silicon wafers, to form desired three-dimensional objects. So here the bulk manufacturing is just involves the removal of materials from a bulk substrate. Bulk substrate is silicon wafers. To get that, our aim is to using microfabrication process is to just to create a three-dimensional object for microstructures or at a micro levels. So the technique is similar to that we have seen, like is sculptures used to shape the different type of sculptures. Sorry, like this techniques here we can see that different. One of the method is etching. So we have seen what is etching. Now we will discuss about the different types of etching. Like dry or wet etching is a principal technique used in the bulk manufacturing. Basically, they can be used to bulk manufacturing include silicon carbide, or gallium arsenide, and a special polymer. So there are two types of etching. First one is wet etching. If chemical solvent is involved in any etching, then it's called wet etching. If dry etching is means what uses plasma to remove the material at the desired location. So we will deal with the wet etching. Wet etching, what it involves the exposure of surface or substrate covered by the. You can see in the figure that the substrate is covered by the a mask protected by the mask. This is the protective resistance that protect the substrate. And if we expose this substrate to the etchant, then the substrate gate is and the mask just below the substrate. The mask is just below the substrate that we are seeing in the second figure. The etching is very uneven of type because this method is very uncontrollable and it's a time dependent. So we will learn the different types of etching process for the different type of material, how we will etch in a controlled way to get a specific shape of the object. In the second figure, you can see that the etching has undercut the part that is just immediately under the protective mask because of the uncontrolled condition, because we are not able to control this type of etching. So we will learn how to get a controlled etching and which type of material is used so that we'll get a desired state. So first we will see that isotropic and anisotropic etching. So isotropic and anisotropic material, you know what is isotropic and anisotropic material? क्या होता है isotropic material? Uniform in all direction. So isotropic etching is hardly desirable in manufacturing because of lack of control of the finish geometry. It is isotopic material. It is similar or same in all directions.
Yes, sir.
So the chemical etchant will attack the material uniformly in all directions. So the orientation of etching is referred as isotropic etching. This type of etching on a isotropic material is referred as the isotropic etching. Isotropic etching is very rarely or hardly used because of the lack of control of the finished geometry. So the pure silicon are not isotropic in their properties due to non-uniform distribution of atoms at their interiors. Such anisotropic property are represented by three distinct planes. आपने पढ़ा होगा three distinct planes in a material science. What 100 plane represents and 110 plane represents. This is just the orientation of the crystals. Is it आपने पढ़ा है या नहीं पढ़ा है distance? आपने पढ़ा होगा तो ये 110 plane just क्या है representation है of a plane in a crystal. कैसे represent कर रहा है. So this is the three different types of particle orientation, and the orientation से क्या effect होता है? The orientation is three different types of orientation. They have three different types of their properties. Like hardness change हो जाती है यहाँ पे, ठीक है. So like we say that therefore in most common is the 100, 110 and 11 plane. So the three orientation are respectively to which the planes is with the normal lines. So the most common two planes are 100 and the 11 for the production of the ICs in the IC industry. And in micro machining, like most micro machining, where micro machining is used, then we will use 110 orientation plane. So the only 110 plane is the only plane in which one can clip the crystal in vertical edges. One plane, this is the used for IC industry mostly because to treat it for the micro machining. It's difficult to obtain for micro machining. With the one orientation, triple one orientation plane, we can say that least used orientation in micro machining because of the toughest plane to treat. Is also reflected the degree of readiness. Same substrate ले लेते हैं, silicon substrate ले लेते हैं, और that silicon substance have three different planes, and we will expose to that substrate in with, and we'll get the different shape. Means अगर isotropic material अगर होता है तो उससे oriented substrate, then this will react it with a different rate. So gray color body is represented as the substrate. (100) plane, and in the right you can see that this is the surface, or this is the things we get after etching. The cavity is created. So the 1-1 plane is above by the different substrate having different. So we'll get this type of techniques. There are three types of planes, like 100 plane है, 111 plane है, and 110 plane है. तो अगर तीनों से कंसिस्ट करके हम लोग मटेरियल बनाते हैं, सबसे बनाते हैं और उसको एक्सपोज करते हैं लाइक इस एंड से, so then we will get different type of structure. So this is one of the structure we are able to see here. यहाँ पर देख सकते हो कि different types of reaction हुआ है, तो फिर different types of the different structure of the object will be. Basically anisotropic etching is easier to control. Just we have to control the surface, or we have to control the orientation of the material on which, like here 100 plane is used for the etching. So disadvantage is what is very slow, and the rate is temperature sensitivity, and the performance is at elevated temperature. So the temperature resist mask material. So the next is wet etching for silicon and silicon compound. There are number of different types of etchant can be used with different substrate. So the common isotopic agent for silicon is HNA, and which consists of or which is designates the acidic agents such as HF, HNO3, these things. So these agents can be used effectively at room temperature, and the pH of these is greater than the alkalinity of these chemicals with greater than 12, and are used for anisotropic etching also. Popular anisotropic agent for the silicon is KOH, potassium hydroxide, EDP, that is ethylene diamine, and the next is TMAH. So the all agent based are above the chemicals and are diluted with the water in the ratio of 1:1 for the process. बेसिकली हम लोग डाइल्यूट करते हैं, इसको डायरेक्टली यूज नहीं करते हैं. These are the different types of. In the table you can see that typically range of etching rates for the common substrate material with these agents. So the etching rate decreases with the, there's like silicon in silicon dioxide, in silicon nitride. So with the rate is decreases with the changing the material. Or we can say that the orient, here the 100 plane we are talking about, you can see the etching of silicon like 1 triple. We can compare that also to which has the most fast rate or which has the slower rate. So the sensitivity can be calculated of the agent using this formula. It's not much of importance. This class. The next is dry etching. So dry etching involves removal of materials or from the substrate by gaseous agent. And there are three dry etching techniques: ion RF, that is radio frequency source. The process involves including like adding a chemical reactive gas such as carbon chloride to the plasma. One of the contains ions and has its grown carrier in inert gas, as we can see in the figure. The working principle of the plasma etching. These methods the plasma etching operates on both high kinetic energy and chemical reaction between neutrals and the substrate. The reactive gas, for example, carbon chloride is the carrier gas. Ion fuse reactive neutrals, and the reactive neutral attack both the normal surface and the side walls. So the reactive neutrals bombarded the target on this both side walls as well as the normal surface, where the charge ion bombarded only the normal surface of the substrate. So the etching of this substrate material is accomplished by the high energy ions in the plasma bombarding the substrate surface with simultaneously chemical reaction between the reactive neutral ions and the substrate material. So what here is the thing is that the reactive neutral bombard. Reactive neutral first will form the reactive neutral and it's bombard the targets on both the side wall as well as the normal surface. So the whereas the charged ion only bombards on where the normal surface. So the etching of this substrate material is accomplished with the high energy ions in the plasma bombarding the substrate surface with simultaneously with chemical reaction between the reactive neutral ion and the substrate material. This high energy reaction causes local evaporation and this results in the removal of the substrate material. So this is due to the large number of high energy particles involving both the neutral ions and the charged ion bombarded the normal surface. But the side walls are bombarded by the neutral ions only. So as the conventional dry etching is very slow and at a rate of 0.1 micrometer per minute, in the plasma we can see that the plasma rate is 2 micrometer per minute. The rate of the dry etching can be expressed to 5 micrometer per minute. It is a much faster and cleaner than the wet etching. This method is the dry etching is more faster. The next method is deep reactive ion etching. This is known as okay. We will discuss these things in the next class from the next class.
Okay, sir.
Dipesh, do you want to discuss something?
What, sir?